to its vast quantities of gold, and these strongholds served as fortitude trading posts, offering protection from other foreign settlers and threats from the African population. Placed strategically as links in the trade routes established by the Portuguese in the 15th century, who were the first settlers on the Gold Coast, the forts thereafter were seized, attacked, exchanged, sold, and abandoned during almost 4 centuries of struggle between European powers for domination over the Gold Coast. As early as the 1500s, the settlers' interests turned to the slave trade in light of the growing demand for human labor in the New World, the Americas, and the Caribbean. From holding gold, ivory, and other wares, the castles gradually imprisoned slaves who were reduced to yet another commodity. The majestic fortresses along Ghana's breathtaking coast housed dark dungeons overflowing with misery and despair, right up until the slave trade was gradually abolished by each of the colonial powers in the first half of the 1800s. But by this point, the irreversible and immeasurable damage was done. And from West Africa alone, it is estimated that 6 million slaves have been shipped to other countries. About 10 to 15 perished at sea during the so-called Middle Passage, never reaching the final destination. The castles were, let's see the castles. See that?
And so I sent you her story because she was in the castle.
Oh.
So the girl that I followed.
Oh my God.
So but I can't remember the
What's her name?
I don't know.
Cape Coast, Ghana.
Cape Coast, Ghana.
Slave castles.
Okay.
The castles were the ultimate stop in many ways. They provided the last experience that men and women had in their homeland before their final departure. For those who didn't make it to the New World, the castles were the last place they ever saw on land. The last shreds of hope would wither away with every day of captivity in the castle. On the seaboard side of the coastal slave castles was the door of no return, a portal through which the slaves were lowered into boats and then loaded like cargo into big slaving ships further out at sea, never to set foot in their homeland again, and with a final goodbye to the freedom they once knew. One of the most famous castles in Ghana's dark episode of slavery is the Cape Coast Castle. It began as a trade lodge constructed by the Portuguese in 1555 on a part of the Gold Coast, which later became known as the Cape Coast. In 1653, following Sweden's conquest of the Cape Coast, the Swedish Africa Company constructed a permanent wooden fortress for trade in timber and gold. A decade later, the fort was reconstructed in stone when the Danes seized power from the Swedish. Jesus fucking Christ. The fort then passed through the hands of the Dutch and even a local Fetchu chief at some point before being conquered by the British in 1664. Over the years, the fort was increasingly used for the developing slave trade, which came to a peak in the 18th century. By 1700, the fort had been transformed into a castle and also served as the headquarters of the British colonial governor. Up to 1,000 male and 500 female slaves were shackled and crammed in the castle's dank, poorly ventilated dungeons, with no space to lie down and very little light. Without water or sanitation, the floor of the dungeon was littered with human waste, and many captives fell seriously ill. The men were separated from the women, and the captors regularly raped the helpless women. The castle also featured confinement cells, small pitch-black spaces for prisoners who revolted or were seen as rebellious. Once the slaves set foot in the castle, they could spend up to 3 months in captivity under these dreadful conditions before being shipped off to the New World. An environment of harsh contrast, the castle also had some extravagant chambers, devoid of the stench and misery of the dungeons, only a couple of meters below. For example, the British governor and officers' quarters were spacious and airy, with beautiful parquet floors and scenic views of the blue waters of Atlantic. There was also a chapel in the castle enclosure for the officers, traders, and their families as they went about their normal day-to-day life, completely detached from the unfathomable human suffering they were consciously inflicting.
Castle's involvement with slavery eventually stopped as a result of Britain's ban on the slave trade. Cape Coast Castle went back to its previous function as an essential site for non-human commodity trade, after which it was turned into an army training facility. In 1957, when Ghana became the first African state to regain independence from British colonial rule, the ownership of the Cape Coast Castle was transferred to the new government and subsequently to the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Castle only underwent considerable restoration work in the early 1990s with the help of donor funds, and is currently a well-visited museum and historical site. Okay, we gotta check this shit out.
Well, I guess we gotta go to Ghana.
Right? We gotta check this shit out one day. We got President Obama in the castle.
Shit.
Yeah. Famous slave
We probably all
castles.
came from there. You know what, really? Because I've been meaning to do this, and I really have to, is do the 23andMe, the genealogy test.
Yep. Yeah. Most of them I heard say just sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, but I need names.
Man,
they don't
that's
give
what
you
I'm saying.
names.
They ain't want to tell you, oh, you this tribe or that. You know what I mean? Like, that's giving you too much. Yeah, like.
Oh, that ain't gonna help
Yeah,
me
no,
out.
just regions of the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's
You
not.
know what, Hope?
Look,
27.25% of my ancestors are here.
Hey, look, it don't say what time period though. I can't really, you know.
None of this shit.
I'm gonna have to narrow it down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly how much of what at what
I know
point
it is. It's
in
27%.
time. But yeah, no, you know.
Right? Damn it.
Who was here at this time? You know what I mean? Was they from here?
Let's see. No, you know what? Okay, that's what we need to do.
Because
there's a
if
way
you
to look
think
up.
about it, people of color are indigenous to everywhere on the planet. So it's like, no matter where you find your genealogy from, it's going to be some part of you where you got to understand, okay, like, it's only giving you the region.
Right. But I think that we should do I'm trying to go back as far as I can with grandparents and grandmothers. And then we could start from there to like go somewhere. There has to be like a record keeping book where we could see how far back we can go from what we got.
Yeah. What's the farthest you got back? Grandma.
3.
Great-great-grandma.
Great-great-grandma. Yeah.
Great-great-great-grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Talking about
but not their goddamn
grandma's side.
Yeah, on grandma's side. Not granddad. I don't know shit about them. Their family.
It's a couple of them. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you think about it, right? Because your mother and father have a mother and father. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they mother and father got a mother and father. So it's like on each side. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you start ending up being like, okay, if you think about it like that, how the gene pool really works, then it's like, you know,
I don't give a fuck about the kids.
Yeah, man, not even the kids, just the parents. I'm talking about just the parents of the parents.
14 kids and shit.
Parents of the parents. That's it.
Branching off of them motherfuckers.
But if you just go by the parents of the parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your parents' parents. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of them.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It made us who we are today.
Yeah. And I think because on grandma's side and then on pop's side, I mean, on mom's side and pop's side, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So they're mothers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I don't think I remember too much. Like grandma's mother.
So paternal. So dad's mom, it stops kind of with her because she was adopted. But Nana and Jim, we kind of count them in because James Hope is actually our grandfather.
Right.
So I can follow his line.
Right.
But I can't follow grandma's at all. Right. Cool. Bam. That's done.
Right.
Grandma, she got history dating back. to 3. I think she knows 3 of her grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
But then granddad, I guess I'd have to talk to somebody else
On that side.
on that
Robinson
side for the Robinsons. But yeah, I wanted to focus on the ones that I could get down now. So since I went to Hope Day at Peppy's house, I was able to get all of our grandfather's siblings' names on that side and his parents' names. But I wasn't able to get great grands. Okay. So like who their parents was, I have no idea.
True.
But they're all housed, like they all are from the Maryland Eastern Shore.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a lot of like record books up there.
True.
So gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I should do a road trip one day.
Nah, that makes sense. Yeah, this little lineage tour. Nah, that's facts. And then, cause the further you go back, the more you know. Is like, you know what I mean, I kind of want to wonder, okay, what do I do with that information?
To know where you're going, you gotta know where you're coming from.
That's true.
I think it's just good to be able to know who you are. You know what I mean? Like to have some deep roots, and you could say that my great grandfather was a plumbing. Like just to know, like, you know, because I feel like we're so disconnected from.
What, different purple punch? No, I ain't do that one. Do the purple punch. Right.
I think we're so disconnected from our parents and like from who we are as people. And in order to root us and to get some footing behind us, we need to know like where we came from.
Yeah, I feel like that's true. I mean, if you got history, like that's like, I think I saw a shirt that was like, man without a history, without knowledge of his history, is like a tree without roots. You know what I'm saying? Like your roots is what grounds you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you don't know nothing about it, and it's like you gotta kind of have that perspective. And so that's why I know, because, you know what I'm saying, and having a kid, I know I want the kid to know, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, on your mother's side, on your father's side, you know what I'm saying, and get that, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, it's one thing to teach a child about certain things, certain aspects, and not give them any context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what family means. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what is family? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and understanding what these words come with. Like what type of position you will put yourself in by saying, okay, you my family. You know what I'm saying? Like the strength that of your words mean and what that is. And like, okay, if you say, for instance, are now part of my family. You know what I mean? Like, then, you know, that's our families coming together, because I feel like it takes a village. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not going to be just you, and just even if it's y'all two in the house, it's other people who affect your livelihood.
So you affect more than just yourself.
Yeah. Back to conspiracy theories. My favorite, I think, is that when we die, that there's this afterlife. Is that a conspiracy theory?
No, that can't. Well, I mean, I guess it could be. But that's like
them saying that they have this knowing this, you know what I'm saying? Like that is a heaven or hell. Like that's one of those.
That's not a conspiracy theory.
You don't think so? Like in order to control the masses, this had to be talked about. It had to be a story to explain away. And with philosophy, they know, okay, it's better, you know, if you're going to hedge your bets, right, to believe even if it's not, than to not believe if it is.
Right.
So it's kind of like one of those.
Well, they're saying that the millennials, we're not we left the church, basically.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
millennials, we
Definitely
but
left the
that's
church.
because that we are our values are much more community oriented, and if the church isn't helping us, then we don't see a benefit to going.
Right.
And so I think family. Sorry, back to family. Is where you find yourself. You know, the culture that you put in your child in. Like, what am I teaching them? Like, what values am I displaying in my kid? Because the thing about it is, and I think one of the things that I didn't really understand was we don't listen to what our parents say. We look at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenneth can tell Nyla so she blew in the face that you need to eat healthy, and that you need to care for yourself. But he doesn't live in an environment like that. It's easy to say,
Yeah.
but when you don't display those things in your own life. But it's funny because grandma, we used to have to clean up and do things like that. But I'm messy. Like my core, sloppy motherfucker. It takes effort for me to like clean my space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why are we like that? Like, how did that come about, right? And so, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of them things that it can't be a punishment. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you look at, oh, damn, now I got to clean up because, you know what I'm saying, I'm in trouble or whatever. You know what I mean? It's got to be something that's done, like, with the cleanup song. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not using the cleanup song, it's like one of them things where it's like, all right, it's look like that's a chore. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I definitely went through that where it was like, why am I cleaning up? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck am I doing that for? You know what I mean? Who's coming over anyway, right? Mm-hmm. And then having to realize it's not about that. It's for me. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you not doing it for you, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Most times if you clean up, it's because you expect to come. Like, your shit does not look like this before you got it. You know what I'm saying? You already know that. You know what I'm saying?
But you're not junky. Like, you don't have half the badass habits that we got. But it's a conscientious effort for me to like keep my space clean. But now it's like something that I look forward to, because then it's like I have other things that I can focus on now. I got a clean space. My mind is clear to like fucking wander. Like now I can actually get some other things done in life and like not be stagnant.
That's real.
Look, a friend of mine told me laziness shows up in every part of your life.
Right. And idle hands are devil's workshop or something like that. Idle mind is the devil's playhouse.
It's a playground for the devil.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like if you not doing anything, then your thoughts can go wherever like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do realize that too.
Yeah, I'm a crazy motherfucker too.
You know. What happened?
Something under here.
Oh.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Kiara.
No problem. I thought it was interesting. I think she went like maybe last year for like New Year's. She was there for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I read something that said pretty much that it was a lot of countries that still participated in the slave trade after it was abolished.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one of them things that was kind of under the rug, where it was like the corrupt officials, you know what I mean, who they gonna blame it on, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, wanted to line their pockets and keep getting that money.
Of course.
And it's like, oh yeah, your people sold you, you know, and it's like, if you really think about it, capitalism is the fucking issue. It's been the issue. Like greed, like the way that greed is manifested is in having money. And the lack of money is the root of all evil. Like that not having that feeling of not knowing where your next dollar or what you about to get next, that is that evil. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no telling what you will do. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of them things that is, if you ever in a position like that, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. Like that feeling of despair. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't think any being should feel that way. And it's like most times, last I checked, it would be something that would be before you die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only time you want, because it's like gasping for air or not having any type of way out of like being trapped. Mm-hmm. That feeling of being trapped, like whatever phobia you have, whatever that thing that you fear being near you, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing, that feeling is like where you kind of would not want to ever have.
You can feel that in relationships too, though. I mean, like, even like, especially during the pandemic, I think a lot of us had a lot of scarcity in our lives, and it kind of came out when you ain't had shit to do but reflect.
Sitting still. Because sitting still, that don't do it. Nobody around. Like when it get real quiet, you know what I mean? Your thoughts. Some people don't have that inner thought where like they thinking with. Like,
I remember you told me
that. Yeah, that's what they say. Half of people don't got that. You know what I'm saying? Like that little eureka inside, like, nah.
Yeah, as far as like them ending the slave trade. So I was listening to Throughline again. This is like my favorite podcast now.
What's it called?
Throughline. THROUGHLINE.
Okay.
And they tackle a lot of like things that have happened in the past, like history, and they like have a topic, and then they'll go back to its origin to see how you got to where you are today. And so the special that I was listening to was about sugar, and how after they made they abolished slavery and things like that, they didn't have that resource anymore. And so you get to like, I don't know when did they start using saturated fats? Whenever Sesame Street came out, basically. So on the TVs during the war times, basically they didn't really have anything educational for kids. It wasn't a thought in their minds. So there was this woman who thought, well, we put everything else on the TV, we could have an educational show for kids. Thus, Sesame Street was created. Mm-hmm. So when Sesame Street was created, the owner of a corn mill, I can't think of his name, he's really big. at first people didn't usually use like processed foods and things like that. You know, they used to cook. But once men stopped coming back from the war, women had like women's rights, like all of that was happening. There was a byproduct of fucking sugar. Oh my god, I lost the thought.
Some Domino shit. Was it brain, or you talking about like the actual saccharin type shit,
Yeah, like the saccharin, like things that you can put in anything.
like sucrose?
So maybe I should start at the beginning. So the start of the episode is like these kids go into a Walmart and they just go on a regular shopping trip, and at the end of it, they're asked like how much grams is in everything that you bought of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, everything has sugar in it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't
get away from
you
it.
can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's the health craze, like a health crisis that we're in now,
Right.
where everybody has like diabetes, especially Black people. So it's
Right.
basically we
gave you all the
we
sugar.
gave you all of the sugar.
Sorry that we didn't know that it was fucking you up.
I mean, we did it on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why there's a liquor store in every corner and there's no healthy food
because
stores.
liquor got a lot of sugar in it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a reason why you don't have anything healthy around you.
Chinese food places using a rack of sugar.
Exactly. Carbohydrate. Everything has fucking sugar.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did I say? Nah, them shits be having like that tea lemonade. That should be straight up.
It tastes so good.
Oh my gosh, liquid diabetes. You know what I'm saying? That's what people joke, but that shit is exactly what that is. Liquid diabetes. And so you giving kids and then that high fructose corn syrup shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's in everything. And they was realizing, oh, damn, everything that got this in it is also has a rack of sugar that come with it, and it's like how many grams, and then they pour it all on the table. If they pour all that sugar into a bucket, like from just one soda, they were showing how many grams of sugar. It's like, damn, that shit's crazy. Good thing, you know.
So glad I don't have a sweet tooth.
Right. Because if you was one of them people who gotta have it, crave type.
It's an addiction.
It's an addiction.
It's addicting.
You can be hooked.
Yeah, I mean it's sugar. It's not that shit is addictive.
You're not looking at it as something that's addictive because
or poison.
You're just like, oh, I got a sweet tooth. That's all. Yeah, or poison, right? Until somebody say, oh yeah, we're about to chop off your foot.
Huh?
Yeah, like back in the slave days. You about to chop off your foot because, too much sugar. You got that sugar.
Sugar diabetes.
Yeah, man. So, the obesity problem is not even something that's not like they didn't know about it. Like they knew, okay, yeah, it's going to be obesity problem. Like getting them fat, getting them, you know what I mean? Like so they can't fight us because they're not healthy. And yeah, we pretty much can control the population and just dwindle it down some with these different diseases that we can manufacture that target certain groups. Like we know your heart's not strong enough to fight the shit that we about to, you know what I mean? Because we already shot you with the shot. We know you weakened.
Oh my goodness.
We done shot you with the shot.
Right, I was with you. So
now you weak. We got you. Nah, the way that I'm hearing people's, some of their conspiracy theories is that the shot was actually to, they was talking about microchipping and how it was also to weaken our immune system type shit so that they can make sure in the future they need whatever, you know what I mean, to shut shit down again. because of how they shut shit down before. I'm like,
No,
and there was
I'm more worried about getting shot at a Walmart or fucking going to get my gas.
what? Yeah, what is wrong with people out here? Have you heard this news? Like, if people get more crazy, or is it just more news just of people being crazy?
More
Probably
news of
both.
people being crazy.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. It's like 80% of that and the 20%.
Because I feel like the shit that be happening, the shit that they have to post in order to be eye-catching, gotta be some wild shit. But it's some wild shit that happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why it's eye-catching. It's like, what the fuck?
This
But
for you.
No, I haven't even given that.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's like,
You know you've been fucking up the rotation though, right?
me?
I don't understand how you've been fucking it up this whole time.
What? Me? What I do? Oh, it's be sitting in the middle. Yeah, sitting in the middle. Two pretty ladies. Ooh.
Yes, but it's going in one direction.
Yeah.
It's for you. It's going in two.
Going like this, I
Keep
thought.
going like this.
I keep going. I'm thinking y'all going to give it to each other. One of y'all going to give it to the other one at some point.
Yeah, but you've been motherfucking
I've been
intercepted.
intercepted.
Yeah, every time. I'm
Did
like,
I just-
oh,
did I intercept
Kiara don't want me to
this
touch her.
time?
She don't want me to touch her J. Okay. This thing is hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah, funny.
Nah, but what was I gonna say? You was saying something.
Hmm.
I was gonna say something. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, they say there's something in the weed. They put stuff in the weed. to
Oh,
make
it's the
people
fear
docile.
mongering. It's also that, right? Like, so at the beginning or around the time of elections is when they start posting a lot more violence on the news channels and stuff like that for fear mongering. And so usually people vote, they come out for an election for security or war, like something with war usually.
Some sort of heightened fear.
Yeah, heightened fear. There's always an enemy that we have to defeat. Now, who it is going to be? Who is it going to be this election? Who are we going to be afraid of? China?
Oh yeah, of course. Why not? Always China. That's in the back of the mind. Now, have you seen these birther stations?
Okay.
It was like,
Birther stations.
yeah, these pods where they can grow babies outside of a womb. It's an artificial womb.
What movie is this?
It's just futuristic China shit. But
They growing
people
girls.
with population control.
Yeah, because they got rid of all the girls and
Pretty
now they
much.
need pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Poor dummies. But yeah.
Are these not mega masturbators?
Man, what? Mega masturbators.
Was this on xvideos.com? Hold on.
No. It was some shit I had posted one day. I don't know. Y'all probably ain't see it. But yeah, I was like, this can't be real. It can't be real. But no, it's really real. And so, what did that have to do with anything?
We were talking about babies. Artificial.
Yeah. What
What were we talking about? Did you just get off topic?
I think I did.
Aliens?
I was trying to talk about. Okay, so
No, we were talking about China.
Yeah,
and how
China.
That's going to be
how
the threat for
they
the
about to be the threat,
upcoming
yeah.
election.
And so I'm thinking, okay, if we're gonna say that's the threat, it's other threats too, right? Of course,
Yes.
because some people are thinking it's issues coming along with what's that Herschel Walker type people? Like it's like what are the government officials doing? You know what I mean? Like
question.
are they doing their jobs? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's, the people who not even voting are still having issues with the government. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do they do? How do they voice their opinion if they don't even trust the government?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't trust the government, what can you do to make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make your vote count if you don't vote?
You get a gun. But that is the thing, though, right? Like, so, because the thing about Black people in voting is that we feel like it's a right,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel like our civil liberties can't be taken away just by a vote. And the way society is set up now, it's like I compare it to, I had to do like a paper, I think, on DACA on Dreamers,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that came over like 20 years ago under the Dreamers Act,
Mm-hmm.
and how basically they had sanctuary cities set up. And so if your state or town supported the Dreamers, you were a sanctuary city.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't, you were not sanctioned. And so, DACA couldn't go there. Like immigrants didn't want to go there. I feel like it's going to be the same thing with these states. Like a question of legitimacy. We don't give a fuck. If I support my town and my town wants to go bomb Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Right.
supportive. I got army, I got whatever I need. I'm an official. And I think that is a scary
I
place to
don't
live.
think everybody would be on board and just having to get votes for one question on a questionnaire. I think would end up being where, okay, what do we do? Do we just go majority rules? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we just discount the people who would say otherwise if it does end up being 54, 50, you know what I mean? 55, 45 type shit. Or 50-50, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do we do that? And so it's issues that's coming up, I think, where people are realizing, okay, if we can get this voting thing down, you know what I mean? Where we could figure out what this money is doing, what are these tax dollars going for? If we got, these organizations who supposed to protect, you know what I mean, people from having these issues, and then now we saying, sorry, we didn't know this much sugar would be bad for you. You know what I mean? It's like, and we got you addicted on it, and we can't just wean you off of it because then everything would taste fucking gross, right? And it's like, what do we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and do we
Get your gun.
ban it for future generations? Whereas, instead of having, like they said, they were banning cigarettes for anybody born after a certain year, I think 2008 or something like that. So it's like, if we can do that in certain states, then it's certain states who would be able to adopt something like that all across the globe, where it's like, okay, little cigarette butts, we don't see them shits. It ain't no more of that. Certain things like bad habits that are phased out, and where if we are using unity as a basis, coming together as a basis, then all of the issues that we have will be able to be solved, not necessarily having to have this government officials. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have to do their part.
I think that I'm not completely like on the like we'll all kumbaya because we all have the same interests, because that's not, we all read Animal Farm. Okay, we saw how that played out. But government does play a part to an extent of keeping law and order. That I totally get. But it does have its abuses. Like there's definitely people that are abusing that power. and I guess we're just becoming aware of it. But like, I'm not completely sold on like lawlessness and like we'll figure it out either.
Yeah, they're doing that over in Illinois, I think, something like that. Whereas it's like whoever comes on your property type shit.
Oh, Sandra Brown, they having big issues with Sandra Brown.
Yeah.
Niggas is killing people for fun.
You coming on their property and they able to kill you type shit. You get away.
I don't think Maryland's a stand your ground state.
Nah, if you remember taking a class to
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
It's not a reasonable threat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to explain that it's perceived as a reasonable threat.
Right.
So without that, yeah.
Yeah, they show you to walk away, which is so crazy.
Gotta walk away, which is the hardest thing for some people.
Niggas cries for getting in the way.
Maybe.
But like now, it's like scary. You know, like, you know, people doing things for just clout, like just because, or just because they want to be Instagram famous or anything. It's just lawlessness. Like they have no respect for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
No sense of community, no sense of brotherhood.
What? Yeah, and it's not even like they don't notice. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's funny. It's like it's like you said, for clout is the clout is real life, just having people watch you, be seen. And that shit is like it gotta be a better way. Like versus being seen that way. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
But what is it about though? Like wow, how do we get
Where
like this?
you get praised for cleaning up the city, or you know what I mean, for doing good. If that was more in the news, I think, you know what I mean. I think it would be better, like news more of, oh, you know, this person cleaned all these bottles up, or you know, all this trash was collected and it was recycled and made into this bench, and you know what I'm saying, the whole story on how the bench was made based on, you know, people who was throwing bottles on it.
But that's the thing, like the news has changed over time because of how we view it, and the news had to change with the people, right? And so it used to be where you had like 90% movies and shows, 10% reality. Now it's flipped, right? It's like 90% reality TV, and so you know we're dumb now, and then now we only have the attention span of a toddler. So we don't want to watch the news that has something informational and informative to say.
Yeah. Unless it's you know. Hey Empress, thanks for joining. I feel like if it's something that's keeping people from doing that, it's like being desensitized from it. It's like, you know, school shootings and having to worry about noticing threats in public. You know what I mean? All that type of thing is like because it's lawlessness. You know what I mean? Like we claiming like it's not, but if you really think about it, it's lawless out here. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, people are thinking, oh, I shouldn't, you know, this and that. It's, oh, if anything happened, I know I'm gonna have to hide the body, and you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not the thought process is not necessarily don't do, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. It's more of it's okay. If I do this, or if I gotta, you know what I'm saying, if I ever gotta kill enough, you know what I'm saying, like I'm gonna have to, you know, put them in some hydrochloric acid, you know, it's like, huh? Why is that what they'll go to because I seen on this murder channel, you know what I mean? Or I've been watching these murder channels because it is where you get desensitized from all this killing. If that is actual, somebody did this shit. It's a reenactment of something that actually is true crimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, from what this dummy did, how he got caught. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
But like when, because like I feel like we
red
grew up with
lipstick
violence. We grew up with violent shows, but we aren't dumb enough to commit the crimes.
But there's also CSI, like those shows too, not just the true crime ones.
I love true crime.
Right.
Yeah, but CSI, that's where they glorify police more than anything.
But that's where they show you, like, okay, we got this from the scene, this little piece of DNA. So it's like, okay, I know I need to wrap my shit up. Like, that's where I first saw, like, forensic stuff, not even true life stuff.
Even on those channels, it's like they're teaching you. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
I've definitely learned that if I ever decide to kill anybody, I'm not going to tell not no one. Not even the bird outside. Okay.
Right.
Because the bird is wired with some fucking, I don't know. Thank you, First 48, for letting me know that you can't even touch your siblings. Trust your siblings.
Man, what? Nobody. You can't trust anybody at all. And that's one of them things that, okay, if you know for a fact, anything you say can and will be used. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know all of this. We know verbatim. Okay. Anything you say, still you'll see these motherfuckers First 48.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you'll see, okay, the ones where I almost got away with it. You'll see what they did say. You know what I'm saying? Instead of thinking, oh, you know what, we should never do this type of thing. It's okay, how I can get away. You know what I mean? That's the type of society we building where it's like, okay, we'll see people in the grocery store and they'll have a video and them trying to get away and they're, you know what I mean? And the security grab them or some shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? They're like, let me go. I'm sorry, let me go. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are you doing? Right? Why are we doing this? Is because of poverty, right? So the things we have police for is to protect what? People's interests. People, money. People with money, their things. So it's like the policy holders, any type of policy makers are the only ones who are really the constituents, the ones who vote anyway.
Hold on, where we at?
Like,
where are we? Go back.
All right, let's go back. So you were talking about, what were you talking about?
I forgot. I was saying that I don't think that like complete law, like not having the police, like I'm kind of not necessarily in the middle, but I think that we need some type of authority because without it, it would be complete anarchy.
And what I was saying is that pretty much that's how it is. We don't have police like 24/7. People who see the police, right, are like aware of them and they're like, okay, I'm not going to do anything around them, right? Versus feeling as though I'm not going to do anything, period. Not, oh, there go the police. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do anything because I'm not going to do anything. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not my first thought.
My thought is not, you know what I'm saying? Oh, there go the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, any person would think like that. Anybody, even if you.
No, that's not necessarily true. And the reason why I say that is because I wasn't dating a guy. I was talking to a guy from Nigeria. And I the first thing I said to him was, my uncle told me never to date a guy from Nigeria because you can't trust. They're not to be trusted. And I told him that. And he was like, well, let me tell you why he said that. And he was like, from where he's from, he like told me the story about how he wanted to get some money for like a gift or something. And he was like, instead of like going to get a job, he like hijacked a car. He like hardwired a car, did something like that to get like some money or whatever. But he was like, it's not, he said, this is just the society that I live in, where the government officials, everybody gets it how they get it because that's just how they are as a system.
Yeah.
Is that they create their own opportunities, and the way they come about those opportunities might not be the right way, but as a system, this is how they do things. Mm-hmm. And if you are born in a system that like that, right, like that, because the thing about it is laws are there to control behavior. Mm-hmm. Right? They do set in place, right? But we all kind of live within those. So nobody is inherently good. We all find a way to kind of live within the system that we do have. Some more than others, right? Some will break the laws a lot more than others will. Mm-hmm. And so, no, I go 80 in a 70. Some people might go 90. And then if it's enough people that are breaking the law, I'm going to put a speed trap there. So I know that you'll go 10 because everybody's going 10. Right? Like, so it's there for a reason. But complete abuse of power, I think, happens in all walks of society. And not having any type of authority or power. We see what that yields. Like, we see what happens in these other countries where they don't have any type of, where they have authoritarianism and totalitarianism. Like, you can oppress a lot of people that way. Nobody wants that.
That's fact. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think the inverse of capitalism would be authoritarian, whatever you said. But I feel like it's one of those things that is, if you have complete control, like when you really think about it, right? Who's bigger than the police other than a better police? Like, FBI. You know what I mean? Like, well, you just keep going
a small
up.
Militia.
Or army.
A militia.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Strength in numbers. Mm-hmm. That's how you overthrow someone.
Right. But if you not thinking,
if I got a cannon and you got a knife, then
if you're not thinking that way, you know what I mean? If, say for instance, you were not that type of person who has any friends or doesn't think you need a gun or you don't have to have any type of weapon, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's more people who feel like they need something. You know what I mean? They're not relying on a police. You know what I mean? Like, if the shit hit the fan for real, the police are people opposite. Too.
Yeah.
I feel like they gonna be like, I don't know what movie it was where they was all in the store and they was riding and shit, and the dude, he was riding and the police came and he dropped the shit and then the police just kept going past them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a riot right now. Like, I might have this uniform on and shit, but real life, I'm a person too. I need shit for my family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's necessarily where people are that organized or the police is that. I think when we say anarchy, like, when we look at what the police was able to do and yeah, like you said, when they stormed the Capitol, right? That's what you're talking about, right? They stormed the Capitol with how many people were able to bring together, like you said, a strong army, a little militia or something like that. That amount of people hopped up and dumped But think about how if we can get that amount of people who are educated, like on some real life, the Malcolm X shit. You know what I mean? Like, no man should have that much power type shit. You get what I'm saying? It's like they always are fearful of that type of person, and so the only thing that's going to be allowed is going to be a Twitter feed that gets a bunch of people and some, like they're storming the Capitol thinking, what are they going to do? Right? And they only had these one police officer was like, hey, look, and he was Jair hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that one person getting shot, is kind of like symbolic of how they would keep the masses in line. Like sometimes somebody gotta die, and it's not necessarily where you want it to be you, but if you feel so passionately about something, like, you know what I'm saying, like if people who have these conspiracy theories felt really passionate about them,
yeah,
you know what I mean, you'll notice it. Like
we are noticing it.
The people with the truck. Have y'all seen the dude with the truck who come down by the Capitol? He put a bunch of stuff all around the truck. It say Jesus is Lord and
those signs.
The one that's
much
on
signs.
Yeah, the one with his speaker.
Speaker. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. It's like, okay, if you feel that passionately about it, then that's why you. Or is it that it's a mental illness? Like how they saying, okay, for people who think that if you're a man and you think you're a woman, is that mental illness? Like,
I don't know.
And then having them be able to compete in sports against women, and did you hear about the boxer, the woman went up against one of the trans?
Well, I don't agree with the same gender sports.
I don't like that sports shit.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That sports shit is crazy.
It's dangerous.
There's no way they should be able to compete against. Nah. What you was born with is who you gonna be fucking training with, nigga.
But I also don't believe it's a mental illness because they used to say that about gay people, period. Electroshock therapy. Try to get the gay out.
So.
Nah, see, I feel like it's one of those things that we can't just say, okay, because somebody is otherwise okay, we're going to say normal or whatever. I'm not saying that is like mental illness should be looked at something as something bad. I feel like it's something that it's like, okay, if say for instance somebody got one leg.
I don't think that there's enough research on
a physical.
Yeah,
something physical you can see, like you missing.
Think that we've done enough research to find out like what it is, about the transgender community specifically that makes them want to, or like we don't know enough. So to categorize it as anything, I think is bad. Now, I think what's more interesting though is like how they are trying to decriminalize pedophilia. Because it's like
saying, because I feel the same way, like, instead of I'm feeling old, I feel young. And
what? No, pedophilia.
But that's what I'm saying. They've also trying to justify
to do other shit. Like, I feel like an amputee, so I cut my arm off, or like because people
identify as young. I identify as young, just like this man can identify as a woman. I identify as younger than I am, and that's why I want to be able to have sex with these little people.
I identify as black, and she got like her skin basically colored and big titties, and she looks fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a scary place to live, right? Where you can do anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want, anything you put your mind to. Right? That's what they tell you too. Look, you can do anything you put your mind to, and that's scary nowadays. Now people are thinking about it and like maybe we shouldn't have been telling people
Right.
this.
And it's not. It's like it's going in the right direction.
Right?
We're not fucking innovators right here, right? Like we're changing each other's skin, and
What?
you're right. Like we're getting further and further away from who we are.
Yeah, by being whatever
Somebody
we want.
else.
Yeah, it's like I could be whatever I want. I'm gonna be somebody else.
Huh? Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
If you had the choice.
yeah, like I'm gonna live as someone else. It's a joke, matter of fact. All right, matter of fact, let me tell this joke. So, this lady was walking and she slipped, fell. She saw white and she almost saw God and say, "Oh my gosh, am I dying?" He said, No. It's fine. You won't die for another, you know what I'm saying, probably 12, years, whatever, right? You good. So the lady said, "Really? All right." And so God sent her back, right? And so she went and she was like, "I'm gonna live my best life," right? Went, got plastic surgery that she always wanted, you know what I'm saying? Got big titties, got just whole reconstructed, you know what I'm saying? And then she was unwrapping the bandages. She was walking out, you know what I mean? Hardly could see, and boom, got hit by a bus, right? It's like, God, I thought I had 12 years. God said, damn, I ain't even recognize you.
Oh.
I ain't even recognize you. But that's what I'm saying, like, imagine,
That's
you know what I
funny.
mean? You do all that, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? If you don't have but so much time, why would you want to live as someone else?
I'm just more curious as to see the after effects of it. Like I can't wait for the research and the studies to come out 10 years, 20 years from now that, are you happier now after you got the surgery than before? And like, what does it do to them mentally?
Yeah.
Do you still have the same community that you had before you started? Are you still close to your parents? Like, at the end of the day, was it worth it? Is what I want to fucking know.
Yeah. You talking about the people with the BBLs too?
Right. But all the other stuff too, right? Like, say you could say yes, you could say no, but then all the other associated things.
I mean, they'll say the pain was worth it because mentally, like this is when my friends told me. Well, like I used to tape her titties down. Like she never liked them her whole life. So mentally, she just always felt like Tasha, not Tanisha. So she was already there before the surgery was even created. So it's like that just became an opportunity for me to transform into who I've truly felt like I was my whole life. So that's why the main thing is yes, and then everything else that has a good community, the people that were there before. Because if you know her, then you would know.
Right. Right, because that's what I was telling. I was saying to somebody I was talking to on the panel. I was like, if you say, for instance, are going to say, okay, you're born heterosexual, then you can say that they were born, whatever they are. You know what I mean? Whether it be transsexual or whatever. So, but once you start getting into so sexuality being a spectrum, that means that it's not just blue is for boys, pink is for girls. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of other colors out here. You know what I'm saying? Like you got greens and we got girls who like blue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things that you can kind of get your head around, that you can get an idea. Okay, I'm born like how I am, liking what I like. So if that's how it is for them, then I can't say that they were changed or something happened to them to make them into that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you must have been molested, or you must have been touched, or you know what I'm saying? Like somebody must have got to you. You know what I mean?
There is a certain amount of the population and a amount of like people that have been molested who end up being that way because of that act. There's a subset. I'm not going to say all, but I absolutely believe people are born the way they are. But I always like to think about nurture too. Like nature is one thing, but nurture plays a big part in people's lives and how they view the world. Yeah, but I just think that about anybody, not even just transgender people. Just everybody has some childhood trauma that they all have to get through. And how you get through that childhood trauma is up to you, but we all got it.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's facts. Like I heard somebody said, any trauma is like real life. 10% the trauma, and 90% how you deal with it. Like somebody, you know, who went through something similar to you might handle it a different way. And however they handle it is the difference of that trauma affecting their life more and more, almost like a snowball effect, where it's like, you know, you start off as, you know, it's just, say for instance, somebody said because of somebody touching me, I went and I did more, you know what I mean, acts that I wanted to do versus somebody doing it to me. I did it, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, and that's kind of wild. Like going the other way versus somebody who, if you say, all right, I took self-defense, or I took, you know what I mean? Like I was able to, if anybody touched me, you know what I mean? It wasn't going to be just giving it up smooth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like same trauma, but two totally different ways of handling it. And you know, those effects, and that's what I'm saying. Because of you getting that defense, you are always kind of guarded, knowing you could, you know what I mean? All right, well, how I'm gonna do it if somebody grab me?
Yeah, but that has its own kind of problems, right? Like they both got some deficient, like they're
issues.
Both have some issues that need to be dealt with,
Right?
Right, and like society, your parents, they don't give you the tools that you need in order to combat that shit. Like they didn't know to ward you against the evils of the world, right?
Right.
And so that's why I'm going to therapy. I'm like, look, I ain't too proud to say that I got some issues and some childhood trauma that I need to work through. And in the Black community, it's just so hard. But I mean, I think that we're becoming a lot more open and receptive to therapy. So.
Nah, that's definitely one of those hot button topics. Like, damn, you need therapy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's saying that. You need therapy. And people are starting to really hear it and say, you know what? Maybe you're right. You know what I mean? Let me get some therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just watching the show and they was about to go to a retreat. You know what I'm saying? A little throuple. You know what I mean? It was like, it sounded like an orgy. You know what I mean?
They've been having a lot of these shows like that too.
Yeah, with throuples and different
Retreats
lifestyles. Yeah, because it's like you need to get away. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you can't, like you can go home and work every day and that could be your life for a long time. And people have realized that they could just be at home and be at work. You know what I mean? And kids here and no going anywhere because of this lockdown shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that is your life, for a while, you start putting things in perspective and saying, you know what? I need to do this more. I need to get out more. I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have a lot of time. People dying out here. You know what I mean? So that, I think, is one of those inverse effects of having that lockdown that was not something. That's why I don't think that conspiracy is true. The people having to be sitting still because the government wanted it or nah. It was like that was what they could muster up as a solution. Like, okay, if it's something airborne, right, and we don't know, how to keep it from spreading. Okay, if you sit there and it's not going anywhere, and then after a certain amount of time without a host or without being able to spread this shit, that right? Or that's how they doing the science. Then okay, let's try it. Let's see if that works. And that 2 weeks became however much longer. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that's one of those inverses that I don't think you can say they planned.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that was going
pandemic. That's a conspiracy theory. I don't understand. Like they planned this pandemic. Yeah. How the hell? No. You know what I mean? Like
no, but I think what the pandemic did do was show you the disparities in your life. Like I think that's why everybody's going to therapy, because it's like you actually, like you said, you had a chance to sit down and think about your life. And everybody had a chance to just, well, for the most part, and even if you were working, it still wasn't at the same capacity. Like the world isn't working the same capacity that you are if you were still working. And that still has an effect on you. But it was like, then you actually had to think about it. What the fuck am I doing? I'm an essential employee. Right. What the fuck am I doing? I'm am I happy in the job that I'm at right now? Like you actually had to think about the people that were in your life. Who the fuck am I surrounded with myself with every day? Do I like my kids? Do I like the person that I'm with sitting right across from me, or do I want to fucking strangle them? Like we found out all of that, and now we like on the tail butt of that shit. Like, oh, niggas' lives got really weird for a little bit there, and they still getting weirder because, like, yeah, we coming out of the shadows. We're fucking out of. We are not in Kansas anymore.
No, that's facts. Not in Kansas.
Police brutality, the media. I mean, what else did we find out this year? Like, or the last 3 years?
Man, we found out that government they be dropping the ball on shit. Like they'll have protocols in place and let it expire or don't renew it, or you know what I'm saying? It's like
what?
Like I think that's what happened with the whole COVID. How they dropped the ball. It was something put in place by Obama, and then once Trump got in office, it was fuck whatever Obama did. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like that whole after 4 years or after 8 years, however long, that new president being able to, you know what I'm saying, do away with
the old and fucking new.
Yeah, and instead of it's a good idea, whoever the fuck comes in. You know what I mean? Like, trust that person's judgment, knowing, okay, this person was in the same position as I am now. I'm going to go with what they said for now, unless it's something that arises where it's needed to change. But versus something arises, that plan that would have worked, you know what I mean, is not there. It's the people who are assigned are no longer working here. You know what I mean? All that type. It's you fired out, you know what I mean, whoever he had working. So now you got to come up with your own plans.
And that's the thing, right? And so like what we found out with the Trump administration is like a lot of these things that we thought were mandatory things were kind of like taxes. I thought every president had to do that. No, it's just a suggestion. Executive, functioning powers. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can ban people from the state. Like I can create fake news and the media be behind me. You know, I can lead on that and I can still win. Like he showed us a lot about what a president can do and how much damage he could do in such short period of time. I mean, I ain't going to I was fat and happy on my couch with my money coming in. But other than that, like now, but at the cost of my freedom and like the fake news and illegal ballots and shit like that. And he's affecting me for longer than he helped me out. This motherfucker is going to, and the things that he's put in place are going to impact my life for a very long time. It's scary.
Yeah. No one man should have all that power, for real. And it's sad, but them elected officials, they do have power. You know what I'm saying? It's granted it is given power. You know what I mean? They elected that, you know what I mean, to have that power. But it's like with that power, we all know it's a lot of responsibility. And it's a lot of choices you can make that would be questionable, to say the least. What you about to order?
I ordered a long time ago, but nobody was around. So. But I ordered chicken and tacos.
What you eat? What you eat today?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Are you watching your big
No.
You act like she said it's salad.
Right? I'm trying to figure with a fucking PB. I've been craving them. And I didn't want to buy a whole loaf, so I bought like the little 8-pack of potato hamburger rolls.
Sound like poor people food though. What's going on?
I know, right? First of all, times is hard out here.
Is it?
You fucking go to Walmart. I spent $130 and I got like 2 things.
What did you get?
2 things.
I got a $50 gift card.
Oh, okay. One
That's
of them was a
not
$50 gift card. See?
I'm like, 2 things.
See, you
But
gotta
the
ask
salmon
more
was
questions.
$10. The lamb I got, that was delicious, was $15. I mean, like, you know, food
costs.
Yeah.
And so
get it when it's on
this
sale.
inflation is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Inflation. You know what I mean? Like, if it ain't controlled, right? If it ain't about control, right? Then it would be like Handmaid's Tale, where you just, all right, we got tomato sauce, so we got, but that's too much. That's like Monopoly. What is that? You seen Handmaid's Tale?
I haven't. I heard about it though.
All right, so
I know the premise and everything.
instead of having money, it's like you are provided things you need.
You want to live in a society like that?
I feel like that is where we going. It's going digital for one. Like cashless.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's cashless, then it's all fucking make believe. Like we don't even have the fake dollars to represent the shit. It's all numbers now. Okay. Digits and scannables. You know what I'm saying? QR codes. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think we'll be happy? Because
know.
my thing is like, I'm cool if I can still do whatever I want. I'm not if I'm controlled. Like if you have to tell me when to eat shit and sleep. Like, and then I'm living in harsh environment too.
I feel like it's gonna be.
I don't want a dystopian.
It's not gonna be where it's like, okay, you can do anything you want, unless you are one of them. Like, you know how, like, okay, it's certain people who can go to the grocery store, not worry about any of the money that they spending because it ain't theirs. Like, it's all scam, right?
Okay.
So it's certain people who can go to and do it like that, and then it's gonna be people who pay full price. Mm-hmm. It's like it's certain people who can. Okay, I got these food stamps. You know what I'm saying? Or I got whatever, even though I got whatever money, but I'm using this government to pay for whatever. And then there's certain people who pay full price. Right. So I feel like that's how it's going to be, where it's like, if you're not of that type of, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know anything about hacking cards or having a fake card, or
what does society look like?
Like right now, it's the same. Only difference, once it's digital, is certain things that you can't buy with card, like drugs, prostitution, shit like that, gambling. You know what I mean? So, right. Instead, it's gonna have to be where gambling, they gonna have to go. If you ain't going to a legit spot, right? This person gonna have to have Cash App. Any type of purchase over, how much is the purchase? Over $100, or deposit over? Is it? They'll check. They'll check.
Home purchase assistance.
No, I'm saying that's something that they would look.
The HBA.
Be able to look into. It's something that you can look into if you look at somebody's bank records.
Well, why are you looking at somebody's bank?
So that's what I'm saying. Only reason they would be looking at you.
Oh, you're saying that's how we're going to be controlled.
Yeah. So it's any type of underworld, any type of
the technology. Yeah.
Right. It would have to be tech based. You know what I'm saying? So it's like pretty much making everybody square people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like we already control whether or not, because we're probably more than likely looking into whoever is doing the hacking shit, right?
I think history has proven that we're always going to indulge ourselves, and the government has never stopped us from indulging.
Fair enough.
Like, I mean, unless you get caught, but it's not like we're not in the prohibition era. You know what I mean? But like, there's definitely an underworld, because gambling, like, I mean, that's why the liquor store stayed open fucking during the pandemic. Like, they ain't stupid. You know, people need their drugs. But I do agree with you about the technology and the monitoring your every move and profiling you as a person through your accounts and your social media and all of the things you swipe. Well, because that's happening now, right? Like, that's kind of how we're being controlled now. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd still rather live here than anywhere else in the world. So
that's real. That's facts.
But I haven't been a lot of places, so maybe that might change if I go somewhere else that I like.
Yeah, depending on where you go, huh? Yeah. Look, I think it's one of them places that you gotta understand, like, wherever you go, okay, we all are controlled by the same things. Like, we gotta have this money. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where you go. Like,
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so? Like, what's a place you would go that's not controlled by money?
Well, what do you mean? Like, are you saying the people who have it? Because everywhere is controlled by money, but like,
I guess
who has it?
I was just to like live off the grid, or be able
different.
To live comfortably based.
I was just thinking that, like, if you're a monk, maybe if you're a monk, right? Or like you're a missionary, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Something like that. You probably not controlling my money. Or off the grid, you just living in
or societies that don't have any, like. Right. Motherfuckers ain't got no money. They got community, though. That's about the only thing they do have.
Yeah, that is all you really need. That's why I said it takes a village. Because if you got enough people who can help you, then you can storm the Capitol.
Yeah, you have enough people that believe in the same idea you do.
You got enough people who believe the same shit. You got a microphone and you can chant some shit
Convince
out.
Convince some people to do some shit.
Like, we're gonna storm the Capitol. We're gonna storm the Capitol.
Don't start with that.
Nah, you can't stay.
No, start with the idea.
Yeah, you gotta
They're
have
taking our jobs.
Yeah.
We ain't got no freedom.
They're taking our homes.
Yeah,
They're
they're
taking our jobs.
Billy Bob got laid off last week.
Man, what? Yeah.
Replaced by some
Yeah.
wetback.
How long you been unemployed? Yeah. Fuck you. Yep.
They busted. They cut in line. I was waiting here this whole time, and they goddamn cut in line.
That. That's what I'm saying. All that is
Billy Bob. Who's your
relatable.
husband? Who's your son dating? Some black girl from Tennessee. Abomination.
They taking our sons now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm saying that. All it takes is that toxic rhetoric. Enough people who get behind that type of wild stuff. Because this whole, have you heard of this online red pill, save yourself, black men, manosphere, any of this? Have you heard of any of this?
No, tell me about it.
Oh man, so think of a manosphere, like just if you hear the words manosphere, right? You're thinking
a sphere of men.
Right. And everything dealing with men.
Okay.
Right. So
these are the places Kevin Samuels people went because they didn't have a refuge.
Right, exactly. So you have people like Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, right? Mm-hmm. And you have people,
R.I.P.
You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. whatever, right? So you got people who still to this day are following and have conspiracy theories of they assassinated this man as if he was a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X.
Oh.
Right? So Imagine thinking that, okay, because this man is bringing together families, black families, and talking about issues that need to be discussed, you know what I'm saying? On, you know what I'm saying, in the public, on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can, who got a phone can get on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you are one of those people who he's speaking to, and you click on, and you like, damn, like, and he got men who are starting to groom themselves better, beginning to realize, okay, I can't keep blaming the white man. I can't keep blaming anybody on my messes ups, my fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I do is on me. And so I gotta be the best version of myself, right? Telling men this, you know what I'm saying? Got men believing in themselves for once, having a whole move to the point where it's men who saying, you know what, like, I got my shit together now. You know what I'm saying? I work out. I got a car. I got this, right? It's nothing but hoes out here. You know what I'm saying? I got to go overseas. So now these guys going overseas are called passport bros, right? So because they're using their passport, right? And getting wives from places outside of America.
I love that. Passport bro. I'm going to call Paul that.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, you got the passport bros who say, all right, I'm not dealing with any of these westernized attitudes.
Right, independent.
Yeah.
Bitches out here.
What do I bring to the table? I am the table. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, now you got for a savior. They got, because after Kevin Samuels died, all right, who they going to listen to next, right? Mm-hmm. You got this other dude who
Alpha Male. What happened to Alpha Male?
Derek Jackson. You ever heard of this nigga?
Oh, that nigga's canceled.
Right, got canceled.
That nigga is motherfucking canceled.
Caught
toxic
cheating.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, caught cheating. Now he divorced his wife.
You see his wife on that motherfucking Instagram?
Hilarious. So
she's fucking with that bonnet on. Didn't say one word. I don't even know what the fucking bitch sound like.
And that's what I'm saying. They want any black man, they want him to have an asterisk by his name.
Fuck? He did that. What you mean?
You think that's just on him?
Okay, you R. Kelly motherfucking fan name. Motherfucker.
R. Kelly another one.
Oh
you know
my God.
They try to get it.
You one of them?
They use your vices, whatever your vice is, against you. Right? So imagine a beautiful.
What?
Imagine you.
Your vices?
Well, yeah, whatever you
pissing
like.
On a 16-year-old is a motherfucking vice.
He's setting them up. They set him up.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Whoever set up the camera. You know what know what I'm saying? He set the camera up. Yeah, he set himself up. He set himself up with that one.
How about Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon is what?
He fighting for the fucking people. Spreading that nasty seed. Who was we talking to? Jamal was like, in 2050, everybody will be related to Nick Cannon.
He doing the Lord's work. That's what he be fruitful and multiply.
Ew. So he wants to like.
Yeah, he said he died or something like that.
Almost aborted.
Yeah.
Like his mom almost aborted.
So now you're just gonna have multiple children that you're not gonna take care of.
Listen, why is it gotta be all like that? Okay, he gonna take care of them.
There's no
They gonna
way.
be set for life. They doing better than a lot of
That's
kids.
not what I'm saying.
What you mean?
5 out of the 10 gonna be psychopaths.
You think so?
Fuck yeah.
I think it takes a village. Okay.
You sound like a sister wife.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be one of them dainty bitches. Nah,
Umar was on. I haven't listened to the interview.
Umar,
I
school about to be finished. I heard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Umar got canceled too, didn't he?
They stay trying to cancel black men. That's what I'm saying. They don't want anybody who speaking the way they don't like. You know what I'm saying? And when I say they, we all know that there is a ruling class of people who are what would be called the 1%. That we don't see their face. We don't know who they are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I won't put a name to them. You know what I'm saying? But once you put a name to them, is when you start getting canceled. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Kanye, you know what I'm saying, he wild. Kanye
mixes the trash in with the damn good food, and so you can't really decipher it.
Kanye he's Kanye. He's definitely a different person, you know what I'm saying? And he's showing that individual, you know what I'm saying, as an individual, like, he can say whatever. He can say he got a rack of thoughts. He can express them. If you keep listening to him, you know what I mean? Like, it's on what you give your attention to. Mm-hmm. So, if y'all gonna keep listening.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like, cause at one time he was like, "Yo, get the no interviews, no, I don't want no people in my face. I don't want no paparazzi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get away from me." Now he got the mask on. I say outside violent. You know what I mean? Like,
this is what y'all want.
This is what y'all want. You want to hear some more? I'll tell you some more, matter of fact. So, it's what you listen to. End of the day, what you think? Like, they ain't do nothing to Kanye. They ain't make him.
Not yet.
That's what I'm saying. But I pray for him. I hope he comes out okay. He just keeps saying whatever he want to say. Mm-hmm. And sooner or later, it's like, you know, in today's Kanye news, you know what I mean? Like, he says some wild shit. Like, all right.
I hope he drop an album. That's what he normally used to do that.
They're trying to get him to go to jail or some tax evasion or some shit.
Oh, really?
Whatever type of bullshit they trying to get on.
Oh, on Adidas? Because he had like a sex scandal on Adidas, some dumb shit.
All kind of wild shit. That's what I'm saying. They always want a black man with an asterisk by his name.
Well, I can't. I don't agree with that.
You don't think so?
No. I think there's some nasty niggas that got found out.
Really?
And we were congratulating them and saying the good old buddy way. And so we like, no, this has to stop. We are women too. We're not fucking 3% of a goddamn woman. Like,
man, what?
We deserve to be treated with some goddamn respect. Now, is there an extreme to that? Absolutely. Do I think everybody should have lost a job because of a tweet they tweeted when they were fucking 10? No. There are levels, but
but that's because the internet is
forever.
undefeated. Yeah, it's like forever, ever.
It's forever.
And then so anything you put out there, anything you say can will be used against you type shit. For real. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't even take it back.
No.
You know? Can't take it back.
And I can see why people don't get on social media.
Nope. Because you know that
I don't want nothing I say to be used against me later on in my life.
should take forever. Take forever to try and rebuild. Because that's why they say what? One bad move or one little, it takes forever to build a reputation. Just a second to tarnish it or ruin it. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
That is so true. That is so true.
So what was your favorite conspiracy theory?
I told you.
What is it? The moon landing?
No, that was Kiera.
That was yours. I'm sorry.
With the aliens.
No, aliens. Yes, that was yours. What was yours?
I didn't really have one.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't never say one.
I don't know.
It's they fucking
What?
the restaurant closed before the order could be picked up.
I don't know how to say. Damn, what's wrong with you? Damn. Oh, they was late with the pickup.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Now I gotta cook.
I don't know.
Gonna be good. Oh, is that stuffed chicken? That stuffed chicken? That stuffed chicken? She made the stuffed chicken with the spinach and the peppers and curds, and it had some rice and crab. Yeah, crab meat in there. You know? Some stuff of crab.
Spinach and cheese.
Yeah. Let her
That sounds delicious.
delicious.
Did you pick up the crab meat from Kenneth's house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Thank
That
you.
shit was
I
good.
appreciate you.
Welcome.
It was good.
Yeah, we
You
made
just
crab
crushed?
cakes.
Oh, okay.
Was it like lump pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jumbo lump.
Yeah, jumbo.
Big ass pieces. What kind of crab meat was that?
Tore the shit out there.
Good.
Good looking, Mom.
How many crab cakes I made?
Well, Kenneth made crab cakes the night before that when I had dropped off the crabs, and crab
some
meat.
more.
He made like 10.
Oh damn.
And then with one can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made crab balls. I made about 12 crab balls.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Fuck them joints up.
I believe it. Yeah, I was thinking of what to do with them things. Some stuffed mushrooms. Might do some. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds good.
Some other shit. That crab cake sounds bomb. Crab cakes.
Got the stuff in
Definitely got the stuff on. Yep.
Simple, easy to the motherfucking
And simple.
point.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I ain't made no crab cakes in a minute, matter of fact.
Kenneth fat ass whip them shits up. I was like, okay, Kenneth. I cook better than you. Which you're not gonna say, because you don't cook. I'm not gonna tell a lie. All right, y'all.
It's been real. We're gonna definitely sing you this one.
Thank you so much for having me over. This is great.
Anytime. Come through
So
anytime. Appreciate you for coming.
Yeah. I had to tell you the tea.